this also. I think we're kind of getting away from the. We know it's a lot of damage done with the word nigger. Obviously, it's clear. It's in like One Iam said earlier, 400 years plus of nigger, always been a bad thing. And it's to the point where you can't even put black in front of it. You can call me a bitch, but you can't call me a black bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or you got a problem because of it's been to a point where it's done so much damage to your psyche being black, and it's always been affiliated with doing something wrong or being something dirty that you don't even want to deal with being called anything like that. That's why they went to the African American. But let me say this. They said Anglo, which just means white, and they did all this to Anglo. Will white people have a problem being called Anglo? Yes.
Yeah, they will.
So it's not necessarily the word that was bad. It was what was done to it and in reference to it and to a people and to a point where people cannot live with that anymore because it's too painful. It's very painful. It's very hurtful.
This is Donna again. I want to say something. One of the things I find almost offensive is when I hear people keep saying it's the white man doing it, it's the white man doing it, it's the white man doing it. Well, I'm white, but I'm not doing it. You know?
I'm not saying the white man. I'm saying people are oppressing themselves.
No, we're talking about the historical context of how nigger got to be a bad word.
Yeah,
you know,
I got a question about that.
I hear a lot about, it's the white man keeping me down. It's the white man won't give me. Well, wait a minute. I'm not doing anything to anybody. I'm living peacefully. I'm trying to live gently and respectfully amongst all people. Here where I live, I live in a community.
And Donna, if generally speaking, if the masses were like you, we'd all be good. But we're not talking about.
Yep, this show.
I got a comment about y'all say that it comes from Nigeria, but in a lot of our words have come from ancient Latin text and
Greek.
In Spanish,
it's just Latin.
You're right. In Spanish, black is negro.
Negro.
The color black is negro.
As a matter of fact, they got a bottle of wine, negro, the bottle of wine, the black bubbly.
It just means black. It doesn't mean anything other than black. It's the color black.
And the
so I wonder
black.
if they're in the slave trade in Portugal and other places like that, where they have a lot of Latin influence. I mean, on their language, maybe it stemmed from that.
The bottle of wine, Cordon Negro Brut. It's a black bottle. You know, I'm not taking a negative connotation to this bottle of wine because it's called a Negro or a nigger bottle. You know, it's just a black bottle.
And what I am, this is what you've done is you really have, and I hope you have because it has for me, you have really opened up a different understanding of what the origin of that word means. We all know what it's done to us. Yeah. As a society and as a culture, we all understand. That's why people are so outraged, and that's why I think that we need to talk more about things like that so we can have understanding and move forward. Because I often hear white and black say these things that why do you call yourself this when all this has happened to you? It's like you're setting yourself back. But you just pointed out we're not setting ourselves, for some of us, we're not setting ourselves back. What we're doing is saying that we have an understanding of what this means, and it doesn't mean everything to us that it means to everyone else. That's not what that means. It just means that based on what you know in your history, that's not what it is. That's what they
White
did.
people don't call each other hunky.
No, but they can say they can call themselves Anglo. They can say Anglo,
let me address this right quick. White people call themselves white, okay? But
right,
in the black community, white is one of the worst things you can be, okay? In the black community. When you say white, you're speaking of a devil in the black community, okay?
Yeah, but One Iam
you can have a black person with all A's and getting scouts. He talks white, he acts white. You know what I'm saying? And somebody say you act white, man. That guy will wreck. He will totally wreck his whole career in order not to be white. Okay, because he don't want to be associated with devils.
Or he will
One Iam. I want to tell y'all. Where I live in a community of 400, and the majority of the people out here are not white. They are black. And if I were to go up and down my road, using the N-word, they would probably tar and feather and run me out of town on the rail. You know?
Donna, you absolutely right, but that's only because of what has happened over 400 or 500 years plus. It's not because of the word. It wasn't. You're absolutely right. Hell, in certain and I'm black. In certain situations, they might do the same thing to me.
Well,
you know,
we all out here, we all refer to each other as sir and ma'am, no matter how old we are. If there's, you know, I mean, I really do think it's more of a regional thing too, that, you know, and it is bothersome to me as a white person to hear the N-word. And it's not white guilt. It's that I've always associated that with a put down, like a lot of the other slangs that we use for other races. I've always thought that those were
tell me what are some of the other slangs you use for other races, like what?
Spick is a slang for another race.
No, Donna, tell me what some of the other slangs y'all use for races.
Well, he just mentioned one,
Spick,
and there's a lot of them, and I don't even like saying them because they are to me, I understand the energy behind that word and how it was used. I grew up in the South where racial slurs were intended to harm. They were not just a description of a person's skin color. They meant low down, good for nothing, lazy, worthless, without value, little more than animal. And that is why I think for a lot of white people, we are very uncomfortable with those derogatory labels because we grew up knowing that they were intended, you know, intentionally used to hurt people. So,
right, I get you. So how do you feel about the word bitch?
I am not a dog. I am a human being.
I get you, but I'm saying when you hear that word referred to other women, does that outrage? Are you in outrage?
Well, if you really, I have chihuahuas. I have 4 chihuahuas, and when they go in heat, when they go in heat, they do act like bitches because that's exactly what they are. They are female dogs in heat. I'm female dogs. I do not go into heat. However, I can out-ugly my dogs, but it's not because I'm a female dog. It's because I am a human being, and I will stand up for myself. And I will insist that other people treat me with dignity and respect because I'm treating them with dignity and respect. And I really think, you know, like when we use bitch for ourselves, and I know with a lot of women, that's cool. You know, I'm a bitch. Look what, you know.
That's where I was going with that. You're right. In a lot of situations, that is a word that they use that is acceptable among a certain culture.
Yeah. Well, I just think that, you know what, I'm not going to disagree with One Iam. I just think that it's the layer of what we've already suffered and what our foreparents suffered and everyone else suffered a long time ago. It's hard to move that word nigger back into today's society because it means so much and it's been beat into like younger kids' heads, like, you don't say that word, because if you say that word, that's a fighting word. You understand? So it causes so much controversy. The difference is if me and you talking, and we're talking and using it as a term of endearment. But a lot of people shy away from it because it's not really a term of endearment, even though it can be used as a term of endearment. So a lot of people have just said, especially in you know, a lot of activists have said, let's just stop using the word because everybody kind of takes the word too far.
The thing you got to remember, though, is that all the other words that you use to refer to black people are based upon the root word. So even though you're saying he's a black guy, you have to go back and reference to the root word, which is he's a nigger.
But, I mean, okay, but they used to call women, black women back in the day, they used to call them Aunt Jemimas. Why did they call them Aunt Jemimas? Because they said they were kissing up to the white woman and they were doing the white woman's job. They were Aunt Jemimas. They were the babysitters of the babies, okay?
You're talking about disparaging terms, though.
Right, but these are still slangs just like nigger. Back in the day, but where nigger came from, these were the same term.
Nigger's not a disparaging term.
Well, Aunt Mama is a negative term because she was a maid and she was put in a position where she was very subservient and she wasn't very respected. That she did whatever they told her to do and how they talked and how they treated her very bad.
I want to ask the ladies on the air. I can.
One Iam, it is getting about that time. I'd like you to have everybody give last words and wrap up so we can get going.
We can go around the circle.
I just want to say one thing, and I'm done. I'm gone. You guys can go from here. I just want to have a shout out to Nighthawk. You're the bomb. And One Iam, your show is awesome. And keep up the good work. Keep the real talk going, not the stuff that people comfortable with, but the stuff that really need to be addressed. You're doing an awesome job. And one other thing, I'm out, is that you got to stay focused, everybody. He's not talking. We know the damage has been done. Focus on what the word means and why, and then you can probably answer your own questions to why people do the things that they do and say the things that they say. You know, Aunt Jemima has nothing to do with the term. It's a word. It's like lawyer. It's like good. It's like bad. It's like sad. It's like sky. It's like moon. It's a word, and it means something. And all One Iam has pointed out to you all is that word in its origin means nigger. It never was intended to be bad. Someone made it bad. And so now we have to deal with that. And that's what you really need to focus on.
And we'll just redeem the word.
And on that note, I'm going to say good night. Keep up the good work, and I'll tune in for next week. And I will donate, okay?
Yeah.
God bless.
I appreciate
Peace out.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to donate, too. I'm going to donate.
Amen.
Well, I want to say something real quick. As a woman, the reason that I don't like to be called a garden implement or a female dog is it took women a long time, even in this country, to be able to divorce a man who beat them, to protect her children from men who beat them and raped them. It took a long time for a woman to be able to vote. It took a long time for a woman to be able to own property, to inherit from her father. And I want to respect all the women that went before me who suffered in order for me to now be right.
Go to bed right now. Go to bed.
Somebody got to get to bed.
The Eastman, you got the radio up loud, and you're interfering
Well, I'm
with.
through. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you,
welcome. Have a
Donna.
great
Your call
day.
was great. Thank
Bye,
you.
Donna.
Bye-bye.
Acid, you got anything you want to say?
No, I got pretty much all wrapped up and everything. You know, I wanted to go ahead and say a few things, but everybody just got in the heat of the moment and everything, so I just let you guys talk. So,
okay.
So there's going to be another day that I'm going to come on here and everything. Then I'm going to go ahead and spill my guts in. You know,
exactly.
we'll be all happy campers.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to say anything else before we close this down?
Yeah. Okay, off topic. Is there anyone there that talked to the NASA employee the other day?
Not that I know of. Maybe somebody on the next show, like maybe Kevin, have talked to the NASA employee or something. Or I know Terrell is in here, and then Richard Hoagland was here, and
Detroit Davis off there.
Kerry Cassidy and Ron Hunter, and some other people that are dealing with Ellen and some of the other planetary stuff. But
okay, cool. When is their show on?
Next.
No, we're not next with Ellen, and I will not. I refuse to take any calls on Ellen. And check the schedule. You can find the link for that on the homepage of freedomslips.com. I believe Francis will be on again Friday night, as far as I know.
Is Ellen broken up and gone about his business?
That's my question. Is Ellen still intact?
We have to wrap up for Crow. I'm not talking about Ellen. Area code 307. Check back with us. Check the schedule. Good night. 770. Any last words?
You know I'm a rebel riser.
Hello?
770?
Say that again, 770?
Get Troy Davis off death row. Go sign a petition.
Yes. You know,
Y'all had a good show.
Yeah, let the nigga go.
Hey.
He's a person of
African. You know why African are white, don't you?
Why?
You want them to work for you, don't you?
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm black. But anyway, yeah, get Troy Davis off there for a good show, guys.
I just want to say thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio with me, your host, One Iam, and Debbie. And we're at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Donate to the station if you can. It's a great station. And we'll be seeing you next week with another topic.